Good day everyone! In this video, ipapaliwanag ko po ang income tax computations for 5 different problems following the new income tax table starting January 2025. I-discuss din po sa video ito kung ano-ano ang mga taxable, ang exempt, at kung paano nakukuha ang final tax due. So now, let's compute our problem number 1. So, ang problem number 1 is, Ella works as an accountant and earns 42,000 per month in basic salary. She also receives 13-month pay, 42,000, rice subsidy, 2,000 per month, clothing allowance, 1,000 per month, overtime pay, 18,000 for the entire year, SSS, PhilHealth Pag-ibig contribution, 4,800 total for the year. Task is to identify taxable and non-taxable items and compute Ella's annual taxable income and income tax due under the 2025 table. So now, i-annualize muna natin yung salary, which is yung 42,000 times 12 for 12 months is equals to 504,000. Ito ay taxable kasi basic salary. Next is the 13-month pay na 42,000. Ito naman ay exempt. Fully exempt ito dahil according to section 32B, 7E of the NIRC as amended by RA 1065-3 and train law exempts bonuses and 13th month pay up to 90,000. Yung rice subsidy naman is yung 2,000, multiply lang ulit natin sa 12 month is equals to 24,000 siya per years. Exempted din to kasi pasok sa de minimis benefit. Yung clothing allowance naman na 1,000 for the year, exempt din dahil mas mababa sa 7,000 de minimis ceiling. Pero yung overtime pay na 18,000, ito ay taxable compensation because the NIRC section 32A includes overtime pay as a compensation income. Yung SSS, PhilHealth and Pag-ibig contributions na 4,800, excluded ito from taxable income pero it allows deductions of mandatory contributions. So the taxable items are basic salaries, the overtime. So, ipag-add lang natin yung basic salary and overtime pay, which is yung 504,000 and 18,000. Mag-i-equal to sa 522,000. Then, i-less natin yung mandatory contributions na 4,800. So, yung net taxable income is 517,200. Based sa train law ng 2025 table, pasok siya sa bracket na over 400,000 but not over 800,000. So, the tax is 22,500 plus 20% ng excess over 400,000. Para makuha natin yung excess, yung 517,200, i-minusan lang natin ng 400,000. So, yung magiging total nun is 117,200. Yung 117,200 is kukunin natin yung 20% nun, which is yung 23,440. Since nakuha na natin yung 20% ng excess, ipag-a-add natin yung 23,440 doon sa 22,500. So, yung total tax due ni Ella is 45,940. So Ella's annual taxable income is 517,200 and Ella's income tax due is 45,940. So proceed naman tayo sa problem number 2. Mark is a sales consultant earning basic salary of 30,000 per month, sales commissions 180,000 for the year, 13-month pay 30,000, de minimis benefits for 12,000, uniform allowance 18,000. Now the task is to determine which items are taxable or exempt and compute Mark's annual income tax. So now annualize ulit natin yung basic salary ni Mark, which is yung 30,000 times 12 months equals to 360,000 pesos. Yung sales commission naman na 180,000 pesos. Taxable din to kasi compensation income din siya. Yung de minimis benefits naman na 12,000, exempt po ito. So now, the uniform allowance na 18,000, dapat 7,000 lang ang de minimis. So, exempt siya. Yung excess na 11,000, magiging other benefits siya. Kasama ang 13-month pay na 30,000. Total other benefits is 41,000, which is below 90,000 exemption. So, lahat exempt. Therefore, ang taxable income ni Mark lang is yung 360 niya na basic salary plus yung 180,000 na commission ni Mark. So, mag-i-equal siya sa 540,000. Since 540,000 yung taxable annual income ni Mark, pasok siya sa tax table, pasok siya sa bracket na over 400,000 but not over 800,000. So yung tax is 22,500 plus ng 20% ng excess over 400,000 pesos. So, yung 540,000 is minus lang natin yung 400,000. Equals niya is yung 140,000 pesos. Yung 140,000 naman is kunin natin nun yung 20% niya, which is yung 28,000. And then, yung 28,000 na yun is add lang natin yung 22,500. So, yung total na annual income tax ni Mark is 50,500. Next naman is the problem number 3. So, problem number 3, Jenny earns 18,500 per month and receives 13-month pay of 18,500. SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig contributions of 5,200 total per year. Hazard pay of 24,000 annually. So our task is to determine whether Jenny pays any income tax for 2025. Identify the items included and excluded in taxable income. So, yung yung annual salary ni Jenny is 18,500. Multiply lang ulit natin siya sa 12 months of the year is equals to 222,000, which is ito ay taxable. Yung 13-month pay naman na 18,500, exempt siya dahil below 90,000 siya. Yung mandatory contribution naman na SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig na 5,200 is deductible siya dun sa basic salary ni Jenny. Yung hazard pay naman na 24,000, taxable po siya by default since walang sinabi na special exemption. So, yung taxable items lang po ni Jenny is yung kanyang annual salary and yung hazard pay. So, 222,000 plus 24,000 is equals to 246,000. Less po natin yung contribution na 5,200 dun sa annual salary ni Jenny. So, ang magiging taxable income na lang po niya is 240,800. Dahil mas mababa ito sa 250,000, according dun sa updated tax table natin na noong January 2025, dahil yung annual taxable income ni Jen is 240,800 lang, mas mababa siya sa 250,000 na threshold, zero income tax si Jenny. So, walang babayaran income tax si Jenny for the year of 2025. Next naman natin is yung problem number 4. David earns 150,000 per month and receives 13-month pay of 150,000 pesos, performance bonus of 300,000 pesos, representation allowance 60,000, car plan, annual taxable fringe benefit value of 240,000. So the task is to identify which items are taxable under fringe benefits tax or FBT and which under individual income tax. Compute David's final income tax liability. So, yung annual salary ni David is 150,000 times lang ulit natin siya sa 12 months is equals to 1,800,000. This is taxable. Yung 13-month pay naman at performance bonus total of 450,000. 90,000 lang po ang exempt, so 360,000 are taxable. Yung representation allowance naman na 60,000 is taxable din. Yung car plan, hindi siya kasama sa income tax ni David kasi subject siya sa fringe benefit tax paid by employer under the NIRC Section 33, which imposes the 35% FBT on fringe benefits given to managerial employees. So, para makuha yung total taxable income ni David, ipag-a-add lang natin lahat ng taxable items. Yung 1.8 million plus 150,000, 60,000 rather, plus 300,000 plus another 60,000. So, yung taxable income niya is 2,220,000. So, pasok siya sa bracket ng income over 2 million. Yung base tax is 402,500 plus 30% of excess. Para makuha natin siya, so yung 2,220,000 na income ni David, ma-minus natin yung 2 million. Mag-equal siya sa 220,000. So, kukunin naman natin yung 30% ng 220,000, which is yung 66,000. Yung 66,000 na yun is a-add naman natin yung base tax na 402,500. So, yung total na annual income tax ni David is 468,500. Para naman sa pag-compute ng fringe benefit tax or FBT, gagamit tayo ng formula. So, para naman makompute natin yung FBT or fringe benefit tax, gagamit tayo ng formula. FBT is equals to monetary value divided by 65% then multiply by 35%. Since yung subject sa FBT natin is yung 240,000, which is yung car plan, i-divide natin siya sa 65%. Yung equal nun is 369,230.77. Then, yung sagot na yan is i-multiply natin siya or kukunin natin yung 35% nun. Yung magiging equal niya is 129,231. So, ang income tax liability ni David is 468,500, and then yung employer's FBT naman on fringe benefits is 129,231. And for our last problem, which is yung number 5, a small domestic corporations reports gross sales of 8 million pesos, cost of sales 5 million pesos, operating expenses of 1,500,000 pesos, total of 60,000. No NOLCO. So the task is, students must compute net taxable income, identify whether it qualifies for the 20% corporate income tax rate, and compute the CIT or corporate income tax. So para makompute natin yung net taxable income, kailangan yung gross sales, which is yung 8 million, ililess natin doon yung cost sales na 5 million. So, yung gross income is 3 million. Yung 3 million naman na yun is ililess natin doon yung operating expenses na 1.5 million. So, yung magiging net taxable income is 1.5 million pesos. Since the net income is below 5 million pesos at asset are only 60 million, qualified siya for 20% CIT under the CREATE law. To qualify for the 20% corporate income tax or CIT, meron silang 2 conditions. Number 1 is the net taxable income must be less than or equal to 5 million pesos. Then the condition number 2 is the total asset must be less than or equal to 100 million pesos. So since pasok naman dito yung domestic corporations, magiging subject siya sa 20% CIT. So, yung corporate income tax will be 300,000 pesos. Paano naging 300,000 pesos? Yung net taxable income is 1.5 million. I-multiply natin siya sa 20%. Kaya nakuha natin yung 300,000 na corporate income tax or CIT. And that's all po. Nakita naman po natin step by step kung paano po nakuha or kinuha yung income tax from annualization, classification ng income, hanggang sa final tax due using our 5 sample problems. Importante po talaga na alam natin yung mga taxable and non-taxable when it comes to our income. Sana po may natutunan tayong lahat sa videong ito. Lagi po nating tatandaan na lamang ang may alam.